most fashionable way for wars to be conducted in all likelihood.
Right.
What are we doing to protect our grid?
So we're not doing that through our program, we're doing that through our sister business unit, which is the asset management group.
So that does take place then? That it's
Yeah,
being done?
but I don't know the details about it, so let's get back, and if we provide it to you, would you be able to
Or just
share
provide
it
to
out?
Heather.
Yeah, yeah, so we can share that out with you. So before we break tonight, let me make sure I've got your questions and your contact
I
information.
still have a couple more questions here too.
Sure.
And I have a couple.
There you go. See, everybody's got questions. I may even have some of yours. Options, like it doesn't seem to me or anybody else that you're providing any options for people who come up with proof that they are sensitive to our frequencies.
If I can add something to that, I have a friend who has a pacemaker, and this meter is going to be right outside her bedroom wall.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to know.
I don't see any shielding on here or anything like that.
Well, it goes into the meter socket, which is a metal backing.
Okay, so
So
that's where the shielding is then.
There's a couple of different questions in those statements, so let me see if I can parse them out. First off, the meters are a part of our infrastructure. They are how we are going to deliver energy. They're a standard, they're a global standard in the world. They are part of our metering infrastructure. They're not a off-the-market device. It's not like you can go to the store and get a Measurement Canada certified meter. You can't meter shop and pick what device you want to use. So they are a part of our infrastructure. They are our standard. They will come a point where the really old electromechanical meters are simply not being made anymore. They have been replaced with some digital versions, but there'll come a point where those meters simply won't work.
No, but if someone comes to you with a doctor's note and says, "Here, I can't have any RF near my house at all," what are you going to do with this meter so that they can still be hooked up to the infrastructure without the RF?
One of the easy answers to that, and it's electromagnetic, and I have some papers here from the World Health Organization about electromagnetic sensitivity, and we've asked a lot of questions of the medical community about that as well. What they say is that none of the blind and double-blind studies that they've done about electromagnetic sensitivity specifically have surfaced any correlation between exposure to radio frequency and the symptoms. What there's a movement afoot now by the big bodies, the big global bodies, to actually, what they want to call it is idiopathic environmental sensitivity. What that means is that there are people that are showing sensitivity to the environment. It might be food, it might be air, it might be any number of things. But when you do blind and double blind, blind means you as a subject don't know when you're being exposed to whatever you're testing. Double blind means you as a subject and myself as a researcher don't know. So study after study done by the World Health Organization and by Health Canada has shown that individuals cannot determine when they have been exposed. But there are sensitivities. So what we are doing is we are having a one-on-one conversation with people that have concerns and questions. There are some people that have some correlated or not, they have environmental sensitivities. One easy option for them is to relocate the meter base, move it away from the home. The meter base belongs to you. That is infrastructure of your home. If you didn't build your own home, it was probably a developer or the builder that put it on your home. And there's bylaws that have governed where it is. But that is your infrastructure. And you can put that any place you want, subject to the bylaws in your home. Our job is to put the meter wherever you put your meter socket. So if you have concerns, you could move your meter base to the back of your garage. City of Vancouver actually has a bylaw now that they want all new construction, they locate all their meters on in the lane, back lane. So some people have interpreted that as, from the safety perspective, the health perspective. It's actually not that.
It's an aesthetic.
What's that?
It's an aesthetic.
It's a little bit of aesthetic, but they want to go to water
easier
metering.
reading.
It's easier reading for water metering, because now they can just go up the alley and they can
pick up signals.
download those signals, right? But that is always an option.
No
for
dogs.
folks. What's that?
No dogs.
No dogs, there's a lot of
Lots of reasons.
things about it.
Basically, you just said we're stuck with wireless whether we want it or not. It's just a matter of where we're going to stick it, right?
There are no viable wired meters for us. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, why couldn't you have a unit like this and wire it into the phone lines?
Because these units don't have, that's out there, people will say, well, we've heard that, we've had people go to Itron, these are Itron meters, they're open way, they're their most advanced meters that they have. Some folks have gone to their website and said, we have seen where Itron has patents that allow for a wired communication module. So why didn't Hydro choose that? Well,
I'm not saying that you had to choose something like that. I'm just saying that you need to give these few people who,
yeah,
have this proven sensitivity or whatever you want to call it. You need to be able to give them, even if you have to get 100 meters
right. But there's
in the whole province,
there's
you
two
need to give them the
parts to
option,
that.
right?
Right. Well, there's two parts to that. So the first part is that there isn't that option. So even though people have gone on the website and thought they saw it, what they saw was the meter company filing for a patent and designing it to be communications agnostic. It doesn't mean that there's actually a communications module that would give you that hardwired option. There aren't any. There's no third-party providers for it. They're not investing that kind of money in building them. So from that perspective, there's not even a choice. So what we're doing right now is we're engaging with customers that have questions. Every one of them. Some of them have got a very specific issue. We ask and answer the question, then they're fine. Others have got some health concerns, and we'll continue to work with them and see.
Yeah, I mean, you could even do something where you've got these little units here. You can say to the person, well, you know what? How about we come out and measure what's going on in your home, just to show you that this is not the cause or something like that.
We might even buy some of these to give them.
Sure.
Let them measure it for
and then
themselves.
they can monitor it for
sure,
themselves.
We're exploring.
Yeah, even those kinds
things
of
like
options
that.
are gonna
Yep.
placate
Yep.
people a little bit, right?
Yeah, and we are looking at those. Now you asked the question about. Now I'm going to share something. I'm going to share something personal, but would it be okay if I ask the cameras to go off?
Sure.
Just for that, you can put it back on.